This conference will now be recorded.
So, good morning. What I discussed in the last session? I think we discussed about the domains, right?
Yes,
Also, I
domain
given
controller.
some task on scatter gather project. So, how many of you completed and not completed? Any issues?
I completed.
Both the tasks.
I only did scatter gather. I have to finish the other one, the deployment one.
Domains.
Domains, yes.
Okay. What about others?
I am yet to complete, Sujit. Yesterday was a busy day, so I'll do this in weekends.
Okay.
Me too.
So, tell me, you want me to explain or you will do it? Will you give it a try?
No,
Could you
we'll give it
explain,
twice.
please?
You will try, right?
I think someone has
Please,
asked
can
me
you
to.
explain it? Yeah.
So, everything ask Manju, you are asking everything me to explain. Last time also purposeful, there is a purpose why I'm giving these assignments. If I explain hardly, it will take 15-20 minutes, it will be done. But point is, I want you to understand the concept there. So this scatter gather project, I already explained about REST SOAP and database. I have given the pictorial representation of a scatter gather flow also, and what to be written in the transformer also I have written. Only thing you need to implement. Hmm? So if you try, that will be great. Still, if you know, say no, and if you want me to explain, I will explain. So what is your call?
I'll try, Sujit. And
That's great. That's great. That's great. So still, I'll give this weekend time for you. Okay, please try to complete. If not, if you are not able to understand, yes, Monday definitely. I think Monday is a holiday, right? Tuesday
yes.
definitely I will explain. Okay, no problem.
Okay. Yeah. Thank
Okay, so let's start with a new topic. What about Nisha?
Yes, Sujit. I could not complete.
Okay, okay.
I'll try to complete in this weekend.
Yeah, please utilize the weekend, guys. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
And did I talk about a certification and other courses what I have additionally? Did I discuss with you guys? No, right?
No, sir. No.
I will just take 10 minutes of time. Uh, see, how many, first of all, I want to know how many of you want to write a certification here?
I want to write with.
I want to read.
Charity, Guru Raj. What about Manju and Nisha?
Yes.
Mm, yes, Sujit.
Okay. So when you want to write a certification, do you have any vouchers to book the slot? I don't want to go on the record.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we'll start with the transformation part today, transformer basic part. Let's have a discussion just to practice that. I already given some assignments, I think yesterday. I think other people had to complete it. I don't know whether you've gone through the video or not about the scatter gather project and the domains project. If anyone not completed, please utilize this weekend and the holiday what we have on Monday also. Please utilize these 3 days to complete all the backlogs, whatever you have, and all those session which I'm going to discuss for next 40 minutes. Okay, shall we start? So, what is the language we are going to use in Mule 4 in order to map, transform anything? Yes, what is the language you use, guys? I already written the answer on the screen. So you
Data.
can happily answer that. It's a data view. And what is the version? You know, what is
2.0.
the version we are using? It's a 2.0. Okay, data view 2.0. This data view 2.0 is supported only in Mule 4. If you are taking an exam or a certification for Mule 4, you don't need to worry about any other languages. you can understand they will ask only on a Dataview 2.0 only. What are other languages actually? There was Mule expression language. There were Dataview 1.0 as well. 1.0 as well. But these are deprecated. Now it is only Dataview 2.0. This Dataview 2.0 was introduced in 3.3 or 3.4 exactly. I don't remember that version. So around that area, they introduced this Dataview 2.0 along with the Mule expression language, right? When you compare the Dataview with the Mule expression or Dataview another language, it is far better than the earlier approaches. Because if you want to do the transformation in the old approach from Excel from XML to JSON, they required one transformer. Okay, from JSON to XML, one transformer. Like that, for every transformation, they required a one transform message to use. But when they introduce this data view language, and this data view language with the help of a transform message component, it is very effective because there it is designed like input and output, where you can give the input and where you can convert into other format as well. So it is very, I can say 6 times far better than the earlier approaches like this, right? So the transfer message is very important component. How many transformers we have seen in our sessions till now? At least, for an idea purpose, how many transformers we have seen? Oh my God, what's happening? How many transform messages we have seen?
Only
This is
one,
not
right?
right. One transform message. Under the transformer family, we have a set payload, set variable also, isn't it? These are also part of a transformers only. Why I'm telling as a transformer? Let's take an example. There is a requirement from a client. He want to consume the third party REST application. Once he get the data, on top of the data, he want to do the modifications, and he has given a desired format. Okay, desired format. So what are the two formats actually? The input format, what you are going to get from the REST application is what? For example, he is going to get a product by name. He is going to consume an operation called product by name. And once he consume the product, for example, let's take HP product. He is going to get this schema, basically this output format. He will be giving this information in the business requirement document itself. So what type of output you are going to get from the request connector, that means REST application, he will given. So what is that product detail? It is scripted like this: product ID with a value 123 comma, product name Samsung, product price 1000. These are the three details which you are going to get from the product dot JSON file. It's a JSON file. This is what the output we are going to get from the third party REST API if I consume the service. Okay. Now my client want, after getting this as an output, he want to modify that into any format he can use, but he is asking as of now to create a new object out of the existing object from the input. So he want again a JSON only. He want to convert this JSON into JSON only, but he don't want all the fields like how it is, how we got this one. And he want to display only product ID and name. No, I don't want a product price. Okay, and he want the original values to be mapped to his own format. Like, what is the requirement? He want to create an object, so one object will be created, and inside that he want to fetch the value by writing a data view expression from the incoming payload, and he want to map that value to his own format like p underscore id, p underscore name, p underscore price, like that. Sorry, price you don't want, right? So p name only. So these are the two values you want to display in the new object. Okay, this is the input to the transformer. We should convert into this output of your mule application. So this is a requirement. This is the requirement. I hope everyone understood the requirement. Yes.
Yeah.
Today we will see only basic transformation. Complex transformations in the fundamental we'll discuss in a Tuesday. Okay. So this is a basic transformation. First you need to get a hands-on. First you need to get an idea about it. Right. So how we can do that? How we can do the transformation part? What is the request? Get method slash transform, which is expecting some query parameter like the product name equal to HP. Okay. So can you please visualize and tell me how the flow should be? Let's take this is the flow. How the flow should be? What components I need to configure in the flow?
Listener.
Please visualize. First, I need to configure, as you know, it's a listener.
Yes.
Okay, let's take the path is transform, which will listen to the request, converts into mule event. So what is the structure of an event here? Okay, ignore about it. What is the next component I need to configure in order to consume the REST API?
REST connector,
Request connector,
request connector, sorry.
right? Where we can configure to consume product by name service. Somehow I will fetch this and send a, you know already how to do this, right? Next, what is the
Tran
structure?
transform message.
No, what is the output structure expected? This is the output structure,
Yes,
right?
yes. JSON only, right?
JSON only, right? This is the output structure I expected, right? Next, uh, what is the output format you want to convert? Basically, you want to convert this into this uniform, I mean this output format as per the client requirement, right? So what I can do, what is the component I can use in order to achieve that?
Transform.
One second, let me align this. Yeah, so what is the next component I can use, and what is the structure of a transform message? That is also very important here. So I will use a transform message. Let's take this is a transformer where it will take the event as an input. What is the payload in that event? Okay, first of all, tell me what is the structure of a transformer, what it contains, how it is divided into
Input, output, and
input,
Dataweave
a mapping
expression.
area,
Huh.
input, mapping area, and the
Oh,
output, and then we can write expressions if you want to write manually. So what will be the input? By default, input is what?
payload.
No, input in the sense event, right?
Yeah, yes.
Input is event. In that, by default, the input payload is what?
Product ID.
Empty. I mean, if it is request connector, yes, I have a payload. This one. Next, variables empty, attributes empty, right? Now, when we give this as an input payload, I need to write a data expression to convert into which format? Others also please participate. Into JSON format. Here I need to write a data view expressions to convert into this format, right? So can you please tell me logic? What is the logic I can write if that is the payload to convert into so and so format? Just tell me, guys. Output is application slash JSON, and what is the body? You should write. I need to create a new object. You need to understand a few things here. Two curly braces represents what in Java or JSON?
Object.
Object.
Object, or can I say map, which contains key value pair,
Qubit.
right? What is square brackets represents?
Array.
Arrays.
It's an array. Other words, can I say list also?
Yep.
And these brackets represents
Method.
arguments, where we can pass the arguments, correct? Now in mule these curly braces, empty curly braces represents a constructor of an object. What is that? Constructor of an object. Okay, if you want to create a new object, just write two curly braces, that's it. Okay, this is array only. And if you want to evaluate any data, if you want to execute only particular data, you can wrap inside the parenthesis. That's why we'll call evaluation parenthesis. Okay, remember these points. Now let's go back to the scenario. So what is the data view expression I should write in order to create a new object with this two with this kind of a structure? Tell me. P underscore id is the key. How to get this value?
Payload dot product ID.
So we treated this as a payload, right? So from the payload, dot represents a reference. In that payload, which value you want to access? Product ID value, right? Product ID, comma. Next, one more. P name. Payload dot product name. So it is very clear and very straightforward. Automatically it will convert into this output, right? Now my question, when assume that I deploy this flow, I deployed this flow, okay, and you are going to get this as an output. Happily these expressions are written and you get the output. But tell me, when you are writing this data view expression, do I required input payload or not? If you want to write this data view expression, do you require the input payload or write or not? Input payload.
Is
Yes.
Payload.
required.
This payload, is it required or not required?
Required.
You need required, right? So when you will get this as an input payload, before deploying the application or after deploying the application?
Before, right?
Before. The request connector will make a call to the REST application only after deploying the flow, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Then these data view expressions you are going to write at a development environment before deploying the application itself, correct? So when you are writing this data view expression, on what basis you will write this data view expressions if there is no payload? How can you develop this data view expressions? The incoming payload will get only after deploying the application, but you need to write the data view expressions in the transfer message before deploying the application itself. In order to write that expressions, we require an input payload. Tell me how it is, how can we solve this?
Do we need to set up payload before we write this transformation?
Yes, setup in the sense we need, as I told, client will be giving the requirement. This is the structure, right? Accordingly, we need to create one sample data, sample
Correct.
JSON schema, I can say, with the dummy values.
Yes.
With the dummy values. That's similar kind of a structure. And that structure, I can give that as a input payload metadata. In the file module, I discuss about defining the metadata either input or output,
Yes.
right? CSV file I have given as output metadata. Now I am going to show you how to give this product.json sample file as an input metadata to the payload. So once you give that as an input, I can write the data view expression. But when you are writing a data view expression, how you will conclude that you are writing correct or not, whether you are going to get a correct output or not? Every time will you deploy the application and see, okay, this is the output, this is the output required? It is practically not possible, right? Every time we cannot deploy that and we cannot see. So in transform message, there is one more option. If you can see preview, whatever the data view expression you have written here, that will be applied on the incoming payload
immediately it will be showing the some preview with the dummy values. Okay, preview can be seen only if the metadata input metadata is present. Okay, understand? But when you really deploy the application, this sample data will override with the original values. Okay, this sample data is given only for the development purpose. Got it? Guys, any questions here as of now? Pictorially, did you understand the concept?
Yes.
I thought of sorry, I would have started my Nippon Studio for earlier itself. I forgot. So honestly, tell me what are the backlogs you have, guys? Till which session you guys completed? Where you stuck up?
I have completed till Java module.
Yes, Gururaj.
I have completed till Java module. From there, I need to finish rest on.
Java module.
Yeah.
Java module is very long back. This task, what I have given yesterday, cannot be done without consuming REST SOAP and database. So first you need to complete those. Then only you can go to the scatter gather. Okay. What about others?
I have only domains left.
Domains left. You are on mark. Okay. What about others, guys?
Uh, File system.
File module. Okay. Far to go. Neeraj, Manju.
Yeah, I'm on the soap side actually.
So then file is, I think file is also pending then.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, please utilize this 3 days
Even
gap
I,
which you have.
Yeah, over the weekend
Pardon?
I'll try to finish it.
Okay. So let me import a project where I created already the schema for a single JSON object, and I'm going to give that as an input metadata to my transform message. So what is that name? 01 transformer basic start. That's a start project, empty project. So let me open the project here. Let me create one new configuration XML file. What is the name I can give? Transform basic. Okay. And what is my client requirement? The endpoint, what how I created, get slash transform. So for demonstration purpose, I told the request connector can be used. While you're practicing, you can use that. Any which is I'm not going to give, we are not going to consume the REST application. Straight away, in order to explain this transform, I'm going to use after the list the transform message itself. Because any which is we are going to give the sample data as an input metadata. Okay. While you're practicing, if you want really, you can go with the request connector and you can consume that as well. 8081 slash transform. Okay, so first I need to listen to that, so I'll quickly configure http listener plus sign 8081 slash transform. Next, what is the component? As I told, I will be using a transform message. So what is the input structure to this transfer message? It is totally decided based on the previous component. What is the previous component here? HTTP listener. So I got HTTP related attributes, empty payload and empty variables as of now, right? So now when you see, this is the typical structure, and if I want to load any metadata, input metadata from this context, I can load. If I want to give the sample data for attributes, I can give. If I want to give any payload sample data, I can give here. But payload means we have some structure we need to be followed, right? So what type of input metadata you are expecting? JSON, right? For that I have already created a schema. You can use any third-party tools to create this JSON structure, or else you can directly create by using it, going to the new file. You can create from here also. I already created and given to you product.json file. So what details you are able to see here in the JSON file? Product JSON file details. How many objects? One object which contains a key value pair, which is nothing but a product ID, name, description, original price, and when you can see the offer is a key which is having a nested key value pairs again. Offer price is a key, and offer valid is also valid until also key. And then we have a brand name. Images is of what type? It's a array type, right? So basically this is the input JSON file I want to give as an input, and I want to fetch four fields out of this, convert into my own format. What are those four fields? Product ID value, uh, brand name value, offer price value, and a first image in that array. These are the four fields I want to extract. Okay, so first let me load this product.json file as a input metadata to my payload. Okay, define metadata. Click on define metadata. You need to create a file by using this plus sign. You should give the file name. What is the file name? You can give any name. Product, I'm just giving a product json, single product, right? That's why I'm giving a product json, not an extension. It's only a file name, and you need to give what type of file it should be by using a create type.
So I want a JSON type file. I have an example file in my SRC main resources. Just browse for that by using these three dots under SRC main resources. From any location you can browse just like this. So product JSON file, select. Once you load this file, you need to cross check at your transformer input metadata whether is the correct file or not we loaded. See, right click on this, edit sample data. This is the file I want, right? Where we can see input. The drag and drop option means when you have a output metadata, simply you can drag and drop from input to output. I already shown you in the file concept, at the same time in the Java concept also, how we can drag and drop. Right now I don't want to define the output metadata because explicitly I want to show you how to write a Dataweave expressions. Okay, that's why these two columns are not required. So what I can do, I will change the view. So here you have a three type of views. Let's directly switch to the third view. Right, we have input and the scripting area here. Now if I click on a preview, what is the output you got? Yeah, tell me what is the output you can see in the preview?
Empty.
Empty. Empty what?
Empty output.
Two curly braces represents what?
Object.
And what it is in what type of format we are converting into that object?
JSON.
JSON.
Is it JSON or Java? It's a Java, right?
Java.
Yeah, we need to
Why
change
Java?
that. Yes. We need to change that to
So
JSON.
yeah, we'll change that. But as of now, object in a Java format. If you are converting into Java, you can see the fully type also there. It's an object internally using a linked hash map, right? And if I use square brackets,
Array.
array and using a array list. If I convert to JSON, you will not able to see the types. You can see only the array. Let's convert back to JSON only. What I want to convert, I want to create a new object. If you want to create a new object, what is the syntax? Repeated question.
Curly brace.
Two empty brackets. Is it an object now? New object. I am creating a new object by taking the input. Okay. So what is the data expression I should write in order to get a product ID? And I want to map to P underscore ID. This is my client requirement. Tell me now.
colon.
Colon. Yeah. From the payload. From the payload, you
Payload
can see
Dot key.
this entire payload is mapped to P underscore ID. Correct?
Yeah.
Now I want to fetch only the value for product ID. So from the payload dot reference, I want to fetch a product ID value. Is it created? Right? So quickly, like this, I want to go with the brand name payload dot
Brand.
brand name
brand name
dot. Okay.
offer price. I will take it into OP. Payload
Payload.
dot
Offer
offer dot
dot.
offer price. Simple. Right? Next,
Hmm.
images.
Payload dot
I want a first image. Payload dot
Images
image
images
dot
dot I 0.
bracket, sorry,
dot
bracket 0.
we can access
Yes.
by using an index value. Correct?
Yes.
So if I don't want that, I can get all the images. Okay. So am I not creating a new object here? There is my own format. From now onwards, this will become a payload. Whatever the data expression I have written, that is a payload, right? So let's convert to Java format. Okay. The Java object here. Convert to XML. Oh, is it converted?
No.
No, right? What is the reason?
It's a
Format.
XML is the input, right?
Hmm? Tell me.
Format. No.
Root tag is important, right? Whatever we have
Yeah.
written, it's a body.
Right.
XML tag means root tag should be there. Under that, we can write a body. But I have written only body here. What is important? I want to give a root tag. Okay, let's take a products. I have given products. See, basically, if you want to understand, this is the syntax to get write any root tag. Products, basically, key, colon, curly brace, open and close. Will be giving a root tag. Inside that, you can write any value. Right? Understand?
Yep.
Now, um, what is the scope of a variable and how we can create a variable? Generally, how we can create a variable?
Set variable.
By using a set variable component. By if I want to create a 10 variables, how many set variables I require? 10 set variables required. Correct? Instead of that, I want to create a variable by using a Dataweave expression. So by using the transform message, I can create number of variables as well. And that variables I can use across the event level. What is the scope of a variable? Once you create by using a set variable component, what is the scope?
Within the flow.
No, we cannot say like flow only.
Event.
Event
It is
scope. It's an event scope. Wherever
Yes.
the event processed, whether to where you are using a flow reference, if you are sending the event to the next flow, there also I can access that. Correct?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
event scope. So Similarly, I want to create a variable for brand name and offer price here, and I want to access that across the event level, right? So here you can see the plus sign, add a new target. Right now it is a payload in the event. I want to add a variables. So add a new target. What you want? Variables I want to add. Okay. So what is the variable name? Um, I'm just giving OF of PR is the variable name. Right now it is in inline. Already it is in inline. I want to externalize that logic to the file. Okay. Once you give the file name, you can just have a look on SRC main resources. One new file will be generated with extension as DW. Okay. Let's take what is the file name I can give. Offer price. Click on OK. On the left side under SRC main resources, one new file offer price.dw got created. Right now I am in a that variable. So what is the expression I can write for offer price? On the payload offer dot offer price. It is nothing but like a set variable. What how to write expression? Same way. Same. It is nothing different here. It's the same, right? Now, did I use any set variable component? No, right? But am I able to create a variable in the event offer price variable, right? Now let's go back to the payload. I want to create one more variable for brand name. Can you please guide me? Plus sign,
Variable.
create a new variable name. I'm just giving a BR name, externalize to file name is brand name. You can use any name for that matters, guys. Brand name. One new file will generate it in SRC main resources. Brand name not DWL. So what is the expression I can write? Payload dot brand name. Right? Save it. Now, will I able to access this variables outside? By using a single transformer, am I able to create multiple variables? Yes or no? If that variables, if I'm able to access outside, okay, before that, go to the configuration XML and see. It is looking very odd, the XML format and the Dataweave expression format. I don't want this Dataweave expression to be written here. I want to externalize this also. What I can do in this case, whatever the payload I have, that I will externalize to some other file, and I will write and I will refer that as a resource. So right now I'm in a payload, right? I want to externalize this entire logic to some other file. So by using this edit current target, right now this target I want to edit, and I want to externalize this to some other file with a name product. Click on OK. Here if you can see product.dwl file got created where I externalize all the logic whatever I have written. Now if you go to the transformer here, and if you go to the configuration XML, now the XML is very clean, correct? So in the transform message, internally it is using a set the payload value by referring to the resource. What is the resource? Product.dwl file. And the variables, it is using a set variable component. In our case, set variable is the component we can refer to. And what is the variable name? OFFPR is the variable name. The value we are fetching from the offer price.dwl, like that brand name.dwl. So since I created this variables and payload inside this transform basic XML file, and in this flow, in this transform message, can I access that variables outside of this transform message? Let's see. By using a logger, I'm trying to extract that. Switch to expression mode. What is the expression I can write in order to extract any variable at the event level?
Where's
Where's dot. If it's a part of your event, you can see here,
yes.
correct? Offer price I'm able to access. Just I will concatenate for demonstration. Offer price dot, sorry, where's dot brand name, right? Let's see. I will deploy this application and we'll see what is the output you are going to get. So this is a very basic transformation. Just I want you to give a hands-on. Later part we'll talk about very extensively about a few functions, how to create your own functions, many other things.
So Sujit, you have created one file for each variable, right?
Yes.
So what does this file represent over here?
File represent a variable.
Variable.
DWF.
So what is the benefit of having this file over here, not setting up as a set variable?
That's what I said. No complexity, reducing the complexity. As I told, if you want to create a variables, 10 variables, 10 set variables should be used, correct? Which is very
Yeah.
lengthy application. Instead of that, by using a single transformer, I'm able to create multiple variables, right?
Okay. From the flow perspective, you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, flow perspective, complexity to reduce the complexity as well.
But Sujit, in that case, we'll have 10 files created, right, in that resources.
Of course, it could be files are different, and you are able to see the flow is different. No flow, if you have it will be clumsy. If you have multiple variables, multiple set variable components and all, it's very clumsy. And even
Right.
I'm not using a set payload also here. By using a single transformer, I'm able to set the payload. I'm able to create a variables also here. Correct?
And that file
Yeah.
that we have used, right, that can we use it somewhere else?
Huh? Pardon? Yeah,
That
since it
file,
is there in your build path, you can use that's what event. You need to think in an event perspective. Anywhere in the sense again, if you write one more transformer again, and the payload will automatically will be over right there. Correct? Yes or no? See, this is the, I mean, the variables can be used across the event level. It is just like a set variable only. Just to avoid multiple components at a flow level, we are using this option. Okay,
Yeah, it's easy to maintain in that case, I would say.
maintain. Yeah, let me send the request. No listener found. So what it says? Cannot course arrays to string. What is the blunder we have done here? I have done here. What is the input to this transfer message? What is the input to the transfer message? What
JSON.
it is expected? It is
Payload.
expecting a JSON object, right? Am I passing any JSON object to the transfer message right now when I am deploying the application? I should
No.
pass the body, the raw body. What is the body? It is expecting a JSON, so I will give the same. Just for differentiation purpose, I will give the product ID value as a 3. Okay, just to differentiate between the sample data and the original data. Okay, so what is the sample data? The product ID is what? 1. The original data is 3. So whatever the expressions I have written should be applied on a sample data on the original data, incoming data. It should be in a original incoming data, right? So is it converted? Input whatever the body I am getting, is it converted into the desired format according to the client? Yeah. Hello.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just complete till here enough for today. As I told, Tuesday we'll discuss more about the transformations, complex
Sujit,
transformations. Yes, yes,
one question.
Shalini. Yeah.
One question. So, since we are giving as a sample data, that's the reason we are putting in the Postman as a payload, right? But if you're using a REST connector, it will pick it up from there itself.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Since I'm not
Okay.
using that, that's why I'm posting the data. Basically, you can use a get or post, both are same in this scenario. So when you're sending this request, that request has a body. What is that body? JSON body. So that will be act as a payload value here. On top of that payload, the data view expressions will be applied. Sample data is given only to get the preview while the development environment. Okay. whether you are writing correct or not.
Yep.
Sure.
I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And please let me know
Cheers.
on Tuesday.
Yeah, mine is sure.
I will call you, Neeraj, on personal.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.